Hello, my name is John. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create an employee's worksheet. The employee's worksheet will basically contain all the wages for all the staff, and from these values, we are going to use some functions, some function and random function. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is go to the employee's worksheet. So I'm going to create my headers here. So I'm going to highlight, let's type the information first. So I want the employee's ID. I'm going to press the tab key. The next value is the title. The next value is the name. The next value is the surname. The next value is their address. The next value is the town. The next value is the postcode. The next value will be the hourly rate. The next value will be their national insurance number. The next one is the tax code. The next one is the total amount annually. Annual income. The next one will be the weekly income. Alright, so I've got a number of issues here which I need to basically address, but before I do that, I'm going to highlight these columns, these cells, by clicking and dragging. And I am going to the Home tab, and from the borders drop-down list, I'm going to select all borders. That's the first thing. The next thing I need to do is make sure that all the data I've got is fully displayed. To do this, if I double click here, I will make sure that the income is fully displayed. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to make sure that the next one is displayed, and so on and so forth. By double clicking in between the two columns, I will be able to increase or reduce the width automatically. So all the information is going to be fully shown. Okay, now I've got an issue now because it's too crowded. So what I will need to do, I can actually click and drag now to basically manually adjust the width. So I just showed you how to automatically adjust the width, but sometimes by automatically adjusting the width, it's not exactly what we want. But we definitely will be able to actually see all the information by doing this. And that's the reason why I showed you this. Okay, so let's increase the sizes. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is highlight now these rows. And I think I've added an extra one here, so we can actually lose this. How to lose this, how to remove the border. So you can click here, you can go to the borders and you can say none. No borders. Alternatively, if you do this, you losing the right hand side of the border here. So you can click here and then you can click on all borders. Okay. Alternatively, if I undo this, what you could do, you can actually select the cell above, and then as you can see here, when I move my mouse cursor over to the little square box on the bottom right corner, the cross changes from white to black. So when this happens, click and drag downwards to basically replicate the cell here, and this will sort this out for you. Okay, the next thing we need to do is basically highlight this information and let's center align it. And then let's center align as well. Vertical and horizontal alignment. I've sent it to center. The next thing we need to do is highlight this, apply all borders. I'm just going to change the color to white, and I'm just going to change the color here to something different so it's going to stand out. And again, I'm going to try to use the similar color, just something that will stand out, and again, something that is easy for the human eye. Okay, now the first idea I'm just going to put here, it's going to be 1. I can put 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. Now, there's a quicker way to do this. If I click on the first cell and I move my mouse cursor to the bottom right corner here, this means I can actually click and drag downwards. Now, if when I click and drag downwards, you can see the a little label comes up just above on the top right corner above my cross. Now, this value doesn't change, as you can see, so I'm just replicating the number 1. However, if I press the control key on my keyboard and I click and drag, as you can see, the number's going up. So once I'm happy and I have basically click and drag to replicate the first number up to the last cell, I'm going to release my mouse, the left mouse key on my on my mouse, the left key on my mouse. I'm going to release it first, and then I'm going to release the control key on my keyboard. So this way, I have very quickly added numbers, but basically increase by 1. The next one I'm going to do is put a couple titles. So I'm just going to put here Mr. I'm going to put Miss, Mrs. I'm going to put Ms. I'm going to put Doctor. I'm going to put Mr. again. I'm going to put Miss here. Okay. Next, I'm going to make up some names. So I'll call this guy John, David, Alex, Anne, call her Anna. Let's put Victoria, and let's put Ionis. Okay. So surnames, let's put White, Green, Blue, Black, Yellow. I'm running out of colors here, and Orange. Okay. So the address, I'm just going to put 12 White Road. Oops. I'm just going to put 56 Green Road. Make up some dates here, or obviously you're going to put the true data from your employees. Well, the town will be Manchester. And because they all live in Manchester, I'm going to click on the first one and then click on drag on the bottom right corner. When the mouse cursor changes to black cross, I'm going to click and drag to basically replicate all these towns here. And I'm going to make up some postcodes. So I'm going to say M1 2 LS, oops, yeah, SD. Just gonna replicate this, and I'm just gonna change the last 2 characters. So I'm just gonna put this. Let's make it capitals. Going to put the cap locks there. Okay, so the hourly rate, let's give them £10. This guy will earn £15. This lady actually will earn £15. This miss will earn, say, £8. The doctor will earn £40. This guy will earn £11. This lady will earn, let's say, £14. Okay. So I've got the hourly rate. However, the hourly rate is based on numbers, so I need to convert now these numbers to currency. So there's multiple ways to do this. I can actually highlight these cells. I can right click and select format cells. From here I can select currency and I can actually specify the decimal places and click OK. And this will give me the currency. I'm going to undo this. Another way to do this, you highlight the data, this information, the cells. You go up on the Home tab, and from the Home tab, you have an option here. It says Currency, General, sorry. You drop down this list and you select Currency. Then from here, you can actually select if it's Euro or if it's dollars, US dollars. Okay. So because we are in UK, I'm just set it up to British pounds. But again, if you are in Europe, you change this to Euro or to US dollar. Okay. Okay. You can increase or reduce the decimal places by clicking and drag by clicking here. And that's it for now. You can also, if I highlight this, as you can see here now is accounting. I can actually change that to currency, and it will place basically the pound sign next to the number. If it's accountancy, oops, this is only because I highlight only this field, this cell. So if I change that to accountancy, you will be able to see the pound sign is on the left hand side, aligned left, and the number is aligned right. Now it's up to you how you wish to basically display your data. So I'm just going to stick to the currency. Now the national insurance number, I'm just going to make up some text and some numbers. In fact, I'm going to replicate this by clicking and dragging. So I want you to basically practice with this. Let's put different numbers. Okay, so here let's remove the extra numbers, okay, or extra characters. So in order to do this, what you can do, you can actually highlight here, select the cell, and then from here you can actually remove the extra characters. As you remove them, you will be able to actually see the data changes here. Okay. Obviously here you're going to put the correct national insurance number. Now for the tax code, people have different tax codes, so I'm just going to make up a tax code. So the tax code, let's say 747L, capital, and let's stick to the same tax code for everyone. Again, by replicating. Now the annual income, we need to basically give them multiplied how many basically hours they can work per day. So they work the earning £10 per hour. So if we multiply this by 8, so here we're going to create a formula. So we're going to create a function, and it's going to be a sum function. I'm going to click OK. And this sum function will basically have this value here, and then we will say times an asterisk, and we're going to multiply this by 8 because this is the hourly rate. I'm just going to put this within brackets for my first calculation. My second calculation will be, okay, I found the daily rate. I need to multiply this by 5. So times 5, which basically, times 5, which basically will give me the total for the week. So I need to put this in brackets. So the first calculation, this is what will happen. The second calculation, this is what will happen. And the final calculation, I'm going to multiply this by 52 because we have 52 weeks in a year. So I will say times 52. Then close the bracket. So I've closed 3 brackets. I need to make sure that I open 3 brackets. Okay, so let's summarize. So the first calculation is it's going to pick up the hourly rate and it's going to multiply the hourly rate by 8 because we have 8-hour shift. Then it's going to do a second calculation. The second calculation, that's why we use in brackets to make it easier for the computer to understand. The second calculation will multiply the 8-hour shift times 5 to give us the total of weekly paid. And then finally, within brackets, in fact, we don't really need the last brackets. We can actually lose that, but it's good practice. It's good practice to have it anyway. So let's put them back on, and we will multiply basically the weekly rate by 52 weeks. Okay. So if I click OK now, I will be able to actually see how much money this person will earn, yeah, in a year. So now I'm going to be able to click and drag downwards. And by clicking and dragging downwards, this formula will basically replicate throughout my the other employees. So John will make £20,000, 20,800 pounds in a year. David Green will make, because he's only £15 an hour, he will make £31,000 200. Alex will earn £16,640. Dr. Anna will earn 83,000, etc., etc. Okay. So now the weekly income, what we can do for the weekly income. So if we say, let's make this a bit, let's put some decimal places here. So £10 and 12 pence. When you actually change this value, you will be able to actually see this value change automatically now, because this value is a formula. And these formulas here rely on the values of the hourly rate. So if I put here 23, and I put here 0.58, I'm going to put here, 0.64, 0.11, and then 0.97. Okay. So as you can see here now, I've got the decimal places. What if the weekly income, I don't want people to basically get paid pennies, and I would like basically to randomize the number here. Okay. So to do this, I create a new function, and this new function is going to be a random function. So I'm just going to click here to add the function, here, this little icon. And from the drop down list here, I need to find the random. Now, as you can see, I cannot see it. So what I will need to do, I click I can click here and select all. This will give me all the functions available now. I'm going to scroll down to the letter R, and now we'll say round. Click OK. Now, the first value I need to check for the round is this annual income. And then I will say comma, and I will say 1. And what this will do will basically randomize this number, the first value, which is the first number after the decimal place, after the dot. Click OK. Now, if I won't be able to see much difference here, but if that was 66 or 67, then it will basically give me 60. So if I change that to 0, I press the Enter key. As you can see now, it randomized now the number. So it basically, the 60 pence, because 6 is above 5, is above the half, randomize the number. So it's going to pay the person 21,050 pounds. You can see here, instead of 49 pounds and 60 pence. Now, if this number is below 5, you can see here, that one is 4. So if I replicate this formula now and go click downwards, because this number is 4, it becomes 6, 7, 8, and then basically this person loses the 40 pence. Because this is 4, this person loses the 40 pence. Because this is 6, this person gains 40 pence. Because this is 20, this person loses 20 pence. Because this is 80, this person gains 20 pence. And because this is 60, this person gains another 40 pence. Hope this makes sense to you. So this is how you randomize the number. Now, it's not advisory to randomize the number, only because you have the obligation to basically pay the full tax, including the pennies. So by actually randomizing a number here on the payroll, you might face some penalties from the tax office. However, if this is what you wish to do in order to not give pennies to your staff, but then afterwards the annual income, you can actually calculate how much money you owe them. You can actually add them on their final wage. For example, the final wage should be 31,137 and 60 pence. So the weekly rate, well, this is because we randomized the number. So what we need to do here, we need to basically divide this number by 52. So if I basically put L10 here, let's select the first one. So the L9, I'm going to divide this by 52 to basically find out the weekly actual payment, but based on the round up. So press the Enter key. So now this person will earn 405 pounds per week. If I remove the round, it will go through the pennies here, and I don't want to give them pennies. So what you can do afterwards, you could actually calculate on the tax year, when the tax year comes along, so it's fully completed, the year is finished, you can actually calculate how much pennies do you owe this customer. And you can do this by actually adding another value here, and basically calculating how much money you have paid them and how much money you owe them. And this money that you owe them in this case is 60 pence. Because we randomize the number here, we're losing the we overpaid this staff employee by 40 pence. Okay, this is what we're going to be ended up doing. Anyway, so now I've done this, I can actually click and drag to replicate this formula. And as you can see, none of my employees now will earn pennies. Everything has been randomized to a full number. per week. Okay, I think this concludes our employees structure. We learned how to add borders onto the cells. We learned we refresh a memory of how to change colors. We basically learn how to replicate data, the same data, across all rows. We also learn how to actually increment the data by clicking and dragging and holding the control key down. We can actually increase the numbers. Okay. We also learn how to create a sum function by actually creating multiplications here. And we also learned how to use the random to basically remove the decimal places based on the data. Okay, we still have the decimal places. We also learned how to, in fact, what we can do, we can actually highlight this, and we can actually remove the decimal places by actually clicking here. Oops, by clicking here to decrease the decimal places. So we learn how to convert text, the cells, into a currency by using multiple different ways. Okay, I think this is it for this tutorial. I hope you've learned something new today. I hope you will be able to apply these new skills onto your project. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.